being strong and wrong, or willing to be strong and wrong, is such an important part, I think, for all of us as creatives. We have to be willing to be strong enough to say, I like this idea, I'm going to follow it through. And we also have to be willing for it to be wrong and not great. Because when you're making something, well, generally in my experience, you only know what the finished product looks like well after it's done and finished. Maybe that's just me. But being strong and wrong and choosing to say it's okay if this doesn't turn out exactly as I want it to be, it's about I'm going to have a go and see, right? My name is Marysia Trembetska, and this is this week's Love Your Creativity and Make Money podcast. I've been thinking about being strong and wrong because I had one of those pop-ups on Facebook which reminded me that a few years ago, probably 8 or 9 now, my ability to make a complete fool of myself on stage, I'm like, oh, I'll have a go, let's just do this, which has brought me some fair amount of criticism in the past. I'm a much better performer now. But I remember I was one of 6 people allowed, all dressed in white, to be armed with megaphones. And we all started an entire choir and band outside the South Bank, outside the Royal Festival Hall in London. And the 6 of us were dotted around with these huge megaphones, and we started the singing across. And you have to be able to be strong and wrong, because you can't not be willing to commit. But my goodness, if you're wrong, they're going to hear you. And also you need to be willing to accept that there's going to be issues, because if you're doing live public performance, especially in an arena like the South Bank, where some people might not be there to hear you, they might be like doing their own thing, right? Or having a row with a boyfriend or whatever. There's so much that can go wrong that you've got to be willing to go, I'm just going to have a go. I am certainly not the only person who advocates this being strong and wrong stuff. Absolutely not. I mean, there's a really famous recounting by Herbie Hancock. He was playing with Miles Davis one night live, and he said, I played a note that was so wrong. It was just horrendous. It was nowhere near any associated keys. It made no musical sense at all to what we were doing. And Miles Davis just looked at him as if to say, I hear you, man. And then he took that really wrong note and made it a right note. He wove that note in and out in patterns and made it a thing. And Herbie Hancock later referred to it as being willing to have the extra butter, that willing to be wrong and seeing where your life can go. J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter authorship stardom, in her Harvard commencement address, she said that when she was writing Harry Potter, penniless, in depression because her mother had died, having come out of an abusive relationship, being her own on benefits with a young daughter, she was writing, and she said, by every standard, I was the greatest failure I knew. And it's okay to fail, because when we're trying to create something, you never know. J.K. Rowling then sent the first Harry Potter book off to something like 18 publishers that then rejected her. So the chairman of Bloomsbury actually got his daughter to read the first chapter of Harry Potter. And it was only because she said, I want to read the next chapter, that they even decided to publish it. But even when they went and published that first Harry Potter, the chairman of Bloomsbury said to J.K. Rowling, you need to go and get another job, because you're never going to make enough money to live as a children's author. Now, we all know what happened since. But it required her to just go down a path of creativity, of the things she wanted to make, get it finished, and be willing to keep on honing it and keep on pushing it out, being strong and wrong, because you need the faith. So there we are. So I don't know what you're trying to be strong and wrong about right now. It's that perfect is the enemy of good. But whatever it is that you're trying to make or trying to move forward, whether it's a half-finished project or something that you've finished and now need to try and sell in the wild west of mid-2021, when I'm not even sure when I'm getting back on stage again, which is crazy because I'm used to being on stage at least 5 nights a week. But it is what it is, right? All we have to do is do the work we can where we can do it. So pick something where you're going, I'm willing to be really strong and really wrong, and just go and have a play. That's my take of the week. So pick a project. It doesn't matter if it's at the end or the beginning or the middle of something. It doesn't matter. And just get it to the next hurdle, and then the next and the next, and be prepared to be strong and wrong. Okay, have a really great week. If you want to book me as an actor, my agent is Dulcie Houston at CCA Management London. You can contact me on @Marysia on Twitter, on Instagram, and Marysia Trembetska on Facebook. If you want to book Singing Psychic Queen of the World, people in the fucking world, or me talking about creativity, then of course, have at it. Get through to either myself or one of my team on that. So wherever you are, be strong and fabulously wrong. Okay, bye.